On today's video, we're going to be talking about the Logitech MX Mechanical Mini keyboard. Let's check it out.
Last night I was screaming out loud, California sun was making my eyes dry. Next year in the winter, let's give it a try. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight.
Hey, what's up everyone? We're covering the MX Mechanical Mini, which to me is one of my favorite keyboards for productivity. It's the newest keyboard in Logitech's MX lineup. We have a lot of things to cover, so let's start off with what's in the box. So the first thing you get is a USB-C cable. Next is your Logi Bolt receiver. This plugs straight into your computer. This is in charge of connecting multiple devices at the same time. Other than some documentation, the last thing is your MX Mechanical Mini keyboard. Now that we covered what's in the box, let's go ahead and look at some of the standout features. So for one, this is a low profile mechanical keyboard, so the typing on this thing feels really good. This is a clicky version, so if you like to annoy your partner, this is the one for you. And the great thing is that it looks like this keyboard uses cherry blue switches, so you won't find any problems replacing the keycaps. Next, the Logi Bolt receiver helps you connect to multiple devices. It's supposed to help out with connection dropouts, but this is where my main concerns are, so we'll touch on this later. Next is the build quality. The keyboard is made from post-consumer plastic and aluminum, which is really great. A great piece of mind is that I really tried to bend this thing, but it would not budge. So if you like to bend your keyboards for some reason, like me, have no fear. Loose keycaps are one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to mechanical keyboards. The good thing is, whenever moving around or shaking the keyboard, there was no sound at all. The backlighting is one of my favorite parts about the product. To turn it on, it uses sensors whenever you wave your hand over the keycaps and automatically dims to save your battery life. You also have a multitude of backlight effects. This includes static, contrast, breathing, waves, reaction, and random. You can select these effects on the keyboard or use the app. The best way to connect to your computer is definitely Bluetooth. Using Logitech's Easy Switch system lets you connect up to 3 devices, and with a touch of a key, you can switch on to the next device. Last but not least, let's talk about battery life. With a 1500 mAh battery, you can get 15 days with the backlighting turned on and up to a crazy 10 months with the backlighting turned off. I've used this keyboard for about a month and I still haven't had to charge it. Awesome. And with all these features behind us, let's go ahead and get our ASMR on and do a typing test. So let's talk about some of the good things about this keyboard. The number one thing that's really great about it is the typing experience. So in previous videos, I've talked about my all-time favorite gaming keyboard. It's the Logitech G915 TKL. So the typing experience is pretty similar to this. It's low profile, very tactile, audible click to it. So naturally, the Mechanical Mini is exactly where I want it to be. Another really great thing is actually the battery life of this keyboard. So in about a month of ownership, I haven't actually had to charge this keyboard not once. And this is with the full-on backlight. I think the real key of the success of the battery life is actually the sensors that are built into the keyboard. So whenever you're about to type something, that's when the keys just light up and it allows you to conserve some of that, that battery life. I've seen other reviews where they don't really like the sensitivity of how fast the backlight turns off or turns on. For me, it really, I think, is at a perfect setting. This just lets you have that great battery life along while having that backlight, which, certain people love so much, including myself. The next great thing is the portability and the size of this keyboard. keyboard. This thing is super small. Now, don't get me wrong, I really do love my full-size keyboards, my 100% layouts with the numpad and everything like that. They do have a full-size one, but I just think it's way too big. And there's also something to be said about having the most minimal accessories on your desk. I mean, sometimes we definitely get obsessed, I know I myself do, with all the gear and all the tech, just having it all laid out on your desk. But if you're wanting to shrink everything down, I feel like a minimalist keyboard like this will definitely be to your advantage. And the last good thing I'm going to be talking about is the connection. And this is kind of a 50-50 thing, but this is the better half of it. So the Bluetooth connection of this keyboard is really solid. It never disconnects. I have this hooked up to my iPad, my regular MacBook, and then I have space for another connection, so that's really great. I feel like this keyboard really shines on Bluetooth setting. This works perfectly on Bluetooth. No interferences for me in my example. And I love being able to just switch onto another device on the fly. I usually have my iPad off to the side. I can use this with my iPad and just casually look over to like the left. I'm typing away. But, and it's a pretty big but, there are definitely some cons I want to go over this keyboard. Let's go over those right now. Okay, so let's move on to some of the bad. I like to categorize this into two sections: deal breakers and gripes. So as you know, a deal breaker is something that will completely put you off from buying this product. So earlier I said the Bluetooth connection of the keyboard is 100, it's 100%. When you hook this thing up, that's where most of my problems lie with this keyboard. So the idea behind this little receiver is really great. It's made to connect to multiple Logitech products. It's supposed to help with all the interference between all your other tech products, like your Bluetooth headphones and all other kind of electrical interference. Let's go ahead and use this first. Why would I ever switch to Bluetooth anymore? Great idea, guys. So I plug this thing in, everything gets picked up 100%. I picked up the new MX Master 3S, both of them paired up and got picked up right away by the Logitech Options app. So I thought everything was really smooth. But as I started using it, and literally within the first hour, I started getting a lot of stuttering, especially with the mouse, but definitely as well with the keyboard. But when I switched the mouse over to Bluetooth and everything was good to go, I left the keyboard onto the receiver to see if there was any difference. The input delay was crazy, and it was such an upsetting thing because I felt like Logitech was up to something with this one. In my case, it wasn't, and I unfortunately had to unhook it and then just hook everything up through Bluetooth, where everything started working really great. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you guys, but I have to point it out in my experience. Okay, so moving on from the deal breakers, I only have a couple of gripes. The price of this keyboard is pretty high. It's $150 retail, but that comes with a caveat because Logitech products, they always go on sale. I actually caught this on a little Best Buy sale for $15 off. Maybe wait for it to go on a deeper sale, or just wait a couple of, maybe a month or so. You can definitely get this on a sale in the future. So my last gripe is the amount of fingerprints this thing picks up. So the thing that sucks about these ABS plastic keycaps, they pick up fingerprints like crazy, guys. Luckily, this keyboard does have a very common connection for the key switches down there, so you can actually put in your own keycaps here, higher quality ones if you want to. So that's why I'm keeping this at a gripe. It's just a minor annoyance, but it's nothing that really affects me day to day. And if I really wanted to, I can go ahead and replace the keycaps with whatever I want. Now, with all the bad things out of the way, let's go ahead and go on to the verdict. So guys, what's my verdict on the MX Mechanical Mini keyboard? So going through my rating system, which is a must buy, a try out, wait for sale, or completely pass on the item, I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a try it out. Definitely with the bolt receiver not working in my case, I couldn't give this a full must buy, but the good does outweigh the bad, even though with that deal breaker. And also, if you're a Logitech fan, this is a really key piece for your collection. If anything, just pick it up. If you guys don't like it within a few days, go ahead and return it, get your money back, and then move on to the next thing. But as for me, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this bad boy, and I'm gonna go ahead and start typing a whole bunch of things with it. Keep on creating. So guys, what did you think about my review on the MX Mechanical Mini? I really wanted to put my time into this thing, so I hope you guys can appreciate that. But yeah, if you guys want something a little bit extra, go ahead and check me out on my Instagram. I've already posted a couple of reels and pictures on this keyboard. So thank you guys for joining the family, and thank you for those who have been sticking around with me. So with all that being said, this was David serving you a little side of tech, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you guys.